The ocean is a world of quietness, a place where all fishes and all coral live in a natural balance. The fishes need the reef to eat and hide, while the reef needs a clean environment to grow. In the Pacific Ocean, we find most of the world ocean biodiversity with more than 300 species of coral and 450 species of fish. But the ocean is a vulnerable place where the climate regulates the temperatures, the wave, and the currents. With actual climate change and rising air temperatures, there is an increase in short-term consequences for the ocean, such as storms, rising sea level, warmer water, and coral bleach. The species struggle every day to adapt by finding new places to eat and hide and move to colder areas. But in the same time, the human pressure is increasing. Population growth lead to an increase in the demand for the natural ocean resource. Overharvesting, small sizes fishing gears, boat and people breaking coral, and inappropriate disposal of waste are some of the negative impact that we make. That is why we too have to adapt to find a way to protect species diversity and maintain the resources for the future generation. On Nguna and Pele Island in Vanuatu, we have decided to make a change. In 2002, we have created a community-based organization to sustainably manage natural resources, but also improving livelihood or reducing poverty. Since then, we have facilitated local initiatives in environmental education, climate change adaptation, waste management, renewable energy, ecotourism, family planning, project management, mariculture, social and ecological assessment, sanitations, and good governance. Today, the Nguna Pele Marine and Land Protected Area Network look after 16 communities and more than 3,000 hectares of both marine and land areas. One of our ways to reach our goal is to create marine protected area.
A marine protected area is a marine area where activities such as fishing, boat, and swimming are controlled or banned. But in Nguna and Bele, we have decided to extend the intervention to the neighboring marine and land areas. Indeed, in the ocean, everything is connected. The fishes go everywhere, and protecting a marine area, but not controlling the adjacent areas may lead to failure in the conservation process because your activities could still have an important impact on the resources. So, we have decided to regulate our fishing gears, techniques, and activities everywhere. The land too is connected to the ocean. Every impact on the land, such as waste and soft mud, can trigger impacts on the ocean by killing corals and fishes. So we started to manage our waste and to plant trees to prevent runoff from destroying the reef. To set up our marine protected areas, we have established a protocol, some steps to follow to make sure that everyone is involved and that the goal of maintaining the resources for our future generation is reached. Before looking at the details of the steps, it is good to overview the process. First, you need to prepare the implementation by resolving any land disputes along the marine area boundaries and inform everyone of the need to protect. Then, you can establish a conservative committee to lead the work. To set up your marine protected area, you need to observe the state of the reef, potential human impacts, then discuss with the community about the place and the activities to regulate inside or around. And you can write it on a management plan before opening the area. After the implementation, you need to monitor the efficiency of the protected area.
Make sure that there is no dispute along the marine area boundaries. In order to success with the marine protected, people need to respect the area, the rules and the actions that are decided. Before starting the process, you need to resolve any dispute that might exist along the marine area boundaries in the village or with the neighboring community, because it can result in trespass and breaking of said rules, and thus you don't have the result expected. We have seen the dispute that remains low or stop the process while the natural resources are reducing. You have to meet first to clarify the boundaries, focusing on the need of protection for everyone.
All village will stop close up. Lol kita. Sometime lo set them up one conservation area. Stop cut tok lehem or stop cut some kind of some small dispute lehem. So for example, one village, one community, arawan between lo got one boundary. Okay, suppose village want them one conservation area, the place no solve yet between two villa. Suppose want them putum lo place by village B, come lo dispute him. So tell them say by must move ya. Same back with village B. Okay, one time when we fly Kamanda put him, say all chief to like chief, he got consent to law or marine resources play me. So tell them say imokut, suppose the village B, want them putum, by no must putum no boundary, but he must put them inside the boundary play.
We have seen that it is important to implement the MPA in front of the village, in a place where people will be able to look at it all the time. Otherwise, it is easier to trespass because the area is eaten from the community. We have had a case where the MPA didn't last because of the trespassing.
2. Increasing awareness about resources protection and environment. One way to resolve all disputes and ensure that the community agree with the idea of setting up a marine protected area is to explain the need to protect. Here is an example of what we present in a community in order to increase awareness of the need to preserve the natural resources. Land and ocean are linked together. A negative impact on the land causes a negative impact on the ocean. For example, it means that all the waste that are on the ground can wash into the ocean. Then even we don't see it anymore when it goes to the ocean. It doesn't disappear and the fishes can be caught inside the plastic, the seed or the cans, or can eat the plastic and then be sick. When we will hit the fishes, we might get sick too. The rain can also carry mud to the ocean which cover the coral, which then can't survive. And the fishes need the reef. They feed on the reef as they hide between hits. Coral is likely the house of fishes. So if you destroy it, the fishes will go find a house somewhere else, and you won't find fish anymore next to your village. The species are vulnerable. They can easily be in danger. First, with the natural impacts such as storms or rising of temperatures that can destroy the reef, or the invasive species such as crown of thorns, which eat the coral. And then the human impact are added with a disposal of waste, overharvesting, breaking of coral and small size species. But you depend on those resources. So if they are reducing, you will find less fish, more small size species and more sick fishes.
What to do? With all those impacts that we face, we can adapt by reducing the impacts when they are human causes. By setting up marine protected area with actions around in the village and the ocean, we have managed to reduce the impacts and thus protect the resources. That is why you need to find sustainable activities that can last, that don't destroy all the resources, or adapt by finding other source of income within agriculture, ecotourism, etc. What outcomes from MBAs? The result of these adaptations are that there is a growth in resources.
Net finish after time when we come or become or just came se promonem ne you got remnet ya from me you want to say mitalem se mi karemnet ya e mi popinga from time you ko pulum net but you must pulum all pick for a fish not take them small fish time you take them small one you spoil them environment.
Sustainable activities are implemented such as fishing. Sustainable activities are activities that don't take out all the resources and thus that can stay long time and not just a few months. Protecting some areas and finding other activities will help you to have better quality fish. Education and awareness are increasing among the children. The resources are maintained for future generations. The species diversity is protected. Alternative revenues are promoted. You can say to everyone to meet at the community house and make awareness. To attract everyone, we use music and videos. Otherwise, we have seen that just a few people come. When everyone or almost everyone is there, you can start. If you have some posters, you can put them in the community hall to give people more information.
The community decides. Once everyone is aware of the way the land, the ocean, the species, and the human activities are linked, you can start the process. The community needs to meet to decide to start the process. Indeed, setting up a marine protected area is a participative program. All groups, women, youth, church, fishermen, and landowners have to join the process. If some are not in the process, the risk is that they don't understand and don't respect it, and you won't succeed. Furthermore, each group has its own concerns. You need to make more than one meeting to decide, because some people can have ideas after or can be side during the first meeting. It is good to let everyone think about it before starting the process. It will allow everyone to implicate more with its own concerns and ideas.
The establishment of a conservative committee. To ensure a good development of the process, you need to establish a conservative committee. One small group, 3 to 5 persons, is nominated by the community to lead the process. The conservative committee decides the frequency of the meetings and presents the following process and the dates to the community. Indeed, when one person leads the program, it often leads to failure because there is less participation and thus less understanding. It is better when the conservative committee is composed of all groups, youths, babas, mamas, because all the representatives will be able to spread the word through the entire community. You need to nominate an active committee, which will meet regularly, because if the people are not involved, the process can be long and discourage the community. It can be a monthly meeting where you look at the program and the work is done.
The conservation committee needs to meet every month and then bring the idea back to the community, that the community can be aware and know what is going along with the MBA program. Then the community is glad to participate and involve in the MBA programs.
Reef observation. The reason to set up marine protected area is ecological. For example, you want to protect the species diversity, to maintain the resources for future generation, or to raise the number and the size of the fishes. That is why making a reef observation, knowing the area, the stage of the reef, is indispensable before setting up a MBA. If you don't make it, you might make a wrong MBA at the wrong place, with the wrong actions linked. The observation can take two forms. Reef check Vanuatu protocol. In Nguna and Pele, we do reef observation using a protocol which is called Vanuatu Reef Check. It is a simple way to study and evaluate the state of the reef. We don't observe all species, but just some valuable and some indicators. Along 250 meters rope, we observe the fishes, the invertebrates, and the substrate. We started with the observational snorkeling to prepare the reef. It is the first snorkeling to look at the area and see where it would be better to line up the rope and make a reef studies. In order to get complementary information, we also make an overall look of the whole area. We don't go deeper to stay inside the village boundary, and because the main area where the community goes in is inside this area. With this observation and some talk with the community to ask the activity and their locations, we are able to choose the proper sites to study. In each site, two 50-meter long transects are placed per one person pulling two ropes. Then after a few minutes, in order for the fish to come back, if they were disturbed by the first person placing the rope, someone goes to observe the fish. We decided to start with the observation of the fishes because of the disturbance that can happen with us. Behind him, a different person observed the substrate, and then another observed the invertebrates.
Fishes are observed along the rope inside a 2.5 meters wide zone. Different kinds of species are observed following the Reef Check Fanodo protocol: butterfly fish, sweet-lips, snapper, grouper, humber thrush, bumped parrot, fish, and moorheel. The invertebrates are observed along the rope too: banded coral shrimp, pencil urchins, beach stemmer, crown of thorns, giant clam, trident shell, trocas, tropella, and lobster. Then every 50 centimeter the substrate along the rope is defined. Different categories are chosen before: hard coral, soft coral, recently killed coral, sponge, rock, rubble, sand, silt, clay, or others. The global state of the coral, if it is dead or alive, in those sites is also mentioned. It's important that the three different versions observe the fishes, the invertebrates, and the substrate. The advantage of this observation is that you can have a clear state of the reef, what is dead and what is alive. Furthermore, you have a precise marker to compare later on the same line, and then evaluate the effectiveness of the implementation of the marine protected area. After the snorkeling, and if you have a computer, you treat the result. You insert all your data in a board in a computer, then you create graphs with the substrates and the fishes and the invertebrates in order to present it to the community. We have seen that the substrate graph was the more useful and efficient. It can show to everyone the state of the reef and demonstrate how much is dead. The advantage of the graphs is that they are easy to understand, clear, and are very useful for the presenting information.
We also tell to the community the problems seen underwater, the potential origin, and some solution that can be implemented. Here are some examples, but you can find other problems and other solutions. Put bags on the roads to throw waste and avoid that the waste go everywhere. Digging one dump site for plastics, guns, clothes, and other waste, and one dump site for leaves. It is good to separate because you will be able to reuse as fertilizers the contents of the holes with leaves. You need to let each other far from the shore, the river, or where the runoff go. Make awareness in school and village. Develop nurseries. A nursery is a small place where you grow small trees in order to plant them later in other areas. Thanks to that, you can ensure to have trees to plant around the villages after. Plant trees on the coastline and along hills. Limit logging. Cut one and plant more. Put one mooring for boats. It avoids the boats dropping their anchor on the reef all the time. Make one area where fishing is forbidden. Make awareness in schools and village. Regulate the use of grouper. Regulate fishing gears such as nets with the establishment of a size limit. Regulate the quantity fished. Don't fish inverts. You can transfer the inverts in the no fishing area. Breeding of inverts. The people who go to make the reef check will also spread the information around the community. There is not only one way to present it, but there are a lot. You can make a presentation to the community in the community hall, but you also need to talk about it in the village, while going to cafe or eating or making community work. This communication phase is a key part because it ensures community involvement. If you don't talk about the result or just to a few people, the community won't understand the process and the need to protect. The goal is to talk to most people. But if you don't have the ropes or all gears, or if the waves enable you to line up the ropes, or if you can't make all the crafts, you can also make a simple observation.
Simple reef observation. The reef observation is a global description of the site where there are rocks or sand. With a brief evaluation of the reef states the importance of the dead reef, of the reef alive, the broken reef, etc. But you also look at the invasive species such as crown of thorns, the waste that can be there, the potential effects of the soft mud if you see it on the reef. Then you need to present the result during a community meeting and everywhere in the village. Again, the goal is to talk to most people. The purpose of this part is to propose a proper area to conserve and find efficient actions linked. It helps you to find clear reasons to start the marine protected area. With these presentations, the community understands the components and the state of the area, and it links it to the need for protection. So you can start to go in details with the contents through group discussion.
Group discussions. After the presentation of the result, the community is ready to talk about the actions to implement to protect the marine protected area, so we facilitate group discussions. These steps helps you to collect and share all the information from the community and gives the opportunity to everyone to participate in the project and then feel more involved in the process. During the first group of discussion, we divide in small groups, depending on the number of people. We do 2 or 3 groups, one with youths, one with mamas, and one with papas. To answer the following question, think of some problems on the sea inside the village boundaries. This helps to focus on the problem faced. Example, waste, no fish, no shell, runoff. How do those problems affect the people? These questions help the community to understand the importance of the problem in their lives. Example, less fish, less food, sicknesses. What solutions you can find? It is to find what actions you can implement after. For example, MBAs, bags for waste, awarenesses, limited size for nets, etc. What will happen if nothing is done? It is to make understand the need to act, to implement an action. For example, no more fish. So those questions have 2 main purposes: find actions with the problems that the community faces, and also to ensure that the community understands the need to act by putting everyone in front of the environmental problems.
The small groups send 2 or 3 representatives to present to everyone their ideas. After that, the rest of the community can ask questions to the group in order to make the ideas more clear, to detail how you can realize the actions. It is an interactive part, so it is interesting because it is the opportunity to talk together about clear actions to implement. After that, everyone has thought about it in small groups. You have to tell to everyone that every talk is interesting, not to be shy. If you think about something, someone else must have thought about it too. It is good not to make the awareness and the group discussions the same day because the people can think about the problems after the awareness. It is good to let everyone think about it a little bit. The second group of discussion is to find rules and fines to respect the marine protected area, because we have seen that you need fines to avoid people trespassing and breaking the rules. This one is with the full room. You can present some rules that you find with the first group discussion and then ask the proper fines.
Rating of a draft management plan. Introduction. A. Village background. It is a brief description of a village, location, distance from the sea, and the number of persons. It can help to understand the problem found. B. Site description. Habitat ecosystems. Describe the kind of substrates you find in the area. Hard coral, soft coral, dead, alive, percentage, rock, and sand. But also the kind of fishes or invertebrates that you used to find. Activities. You can present the kind of activities that the community makes. such as fishing, ecotourism, agriculture, copra, etc. Threats. This part is the present that threats is justify the setting up of marine protected area, such as decrease of fish sizes and numbers, over average population growth, waste pollution, soft mud pollution. 2. Map of the area with a new marine protected area. You can draw a map presenting to the coastline with a